Yeah. Restaurant. Sikujenga na mamita.
Ulijenga.
Akapata kakitu narusha hapo. Pata kakitu narusha pale. You can't get 10M at once. Utatoa wapi na iko?
Ama wewe ndio wale watu wa nilianza kampuni yangu with just a slice of meat.
Ama fedha.
A grain of wheat.
Nilianza kama cashier.
Cashier.
Yes.
You were not in the kitchen.
No.
So
I was a cashier. So the good thing with Pizza Inn back then, sijui kukuaje.
Yeah.
You could, as long as you've done your work, unaweza learn mambo za manager, mambo za jikoni, but you have to have that interest.
Okay.
Because I have former cashiers tulikuwa nao Pizza Inn, bado hao tu ni cashiers, ama waliachia hapo kama cashiers.
Okay.
But I wanted to learn more.
Okay.
So eventually, I would go to the manager, Ebu, show me how you close your books, how do you do your projections. Then I go to the chef, hizi nyama Ebu, mnafanya aje, mna marinate nini?
Okay.
So I learned everything.
Welcome to the Daily Hustle, where we explore the stories of entrepreneurs making a difference. I am your host, Clara Ndinda, and today, tuko maeneo ya Buruburu, we want to interact with Penina of Queen's Pizza. Unaona pale nyuma yangu, Queen's Pizza and Creameries. She's going to be telling us all about the pizza business, and we're going to learn how she turned her passion into a money-making venture. So come with me, subscribe, share this video, and like so that you don't miss out on anything that she's going to tell us today. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I am joined by the beautiful, amazing CEO of Queen's Pizza. I'm gonna let her introduce herself and then we'll dive right into the interview. So if you've ever thought of starting a pizza business, or rather any food business, she's the person who's gonna give you all the nitty-gritties of this business, of running a catering business, yani kitu yoyote inahusiana na chakula. She's very successful. Her pizza place is located, in one of the biggest malls in Kenya. So when I tell you this is going to be one for the books, this is going to be one for the books. So before I talk too much, I'm gonna let her introduce herself and then we'll dive right into the interview. Hi.
Hi, where the intro?
Yeah, take pride in what you do.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
My name is Penina Ntongondu. I'm the founder and CEO of Queen's Pizza and Queen's Creamery. And yeah, we have 2 outlets in Buruburu, and I'm grateful to God for this farm.
Nasikia, these big people wanakuanga very humble. Maneno tu kidogo, but wewe uko hapo, ukibai tu vitu, everybody must know. So, yeah, you're going to tell us everything about the business. Hakuna kuficha.
Uliza maswali.
You won't be stingy with information.
No.
Okay, so definitely the first question. Can you guess?
No.
What inspired you to start this business?
Okay, so I was in the industry for the longest.
Okay.
Nilianzia Pizza Inn. I was a cashier for several years.
Okay.
Then nikakuwa na interest ya growth. I learned everything. Nikakuja nikakuwa manager. And then eventually I went to European Foods as a branch manager. Nilikuwa na grow. So ukiitwa mahali pengine you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that along in my history being a manager, I was sent to town to run some errands for my boss.
Okay.
Nikapatana na riot za students wa Nairobi Uni. Kagongwa macho. You can see my ears and nini.
Oh.
Yeah, so nikagongwa macho.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay, thank you. So my eye ruptured.
Yeah.
So getting back on my feet was really hard.
Yeah.
Like running everything for my boss, because now I was the branch manager. going to work every day. Sometimes my eyes are swollen shut.
Yeah.
Took some time to recover. So sometimes I would lose balance. Mama najipata nimeanguka because of I think pia niliumia kichwa at that time.
Yeah.
So eventually I resigned. But now after resigning, I'm like, now nitajilipia bills aje. This eye is very expensive. The meds are expensive.
Yes.
That time my mom was alive. I don't want to burden her. So after resigning, I had some savings. And I loved cooking. I always wanted to start a business, but sasa kinilinisukuma ni ile injury, lazima ni survive. So nikaanza kubake pizza kwa hao, nikizungusha mtaa ya Buru. Yeah, that's how Queen's Pizza was born.
Okay, so before we even go further, umesema you were at Pizza Inn.
Yeah.
So what were you doing at Pizza Inn?
At Pizza Inn nilianza kama cashier.
Cashier?
Yes.
You were not in the kitchen?
No.
So
I was a cashier. So the good thing with Pizza Inn back then, sijui kukuaje.
Yeah.
You could, as long as you've done your work, unaweza learn mambo za manager, mambo za jikoni, but you have to have that interest.
Okay.
Because I have former cashiers tulikuwa nao Pizza Inn, bado hao tu ni cashiers ama waliachia hapo kama cashiers.
Okay.
But I wanted to learn more.
Okay.
So eventually, I will go to the manager. Ebu, show me how you close your books, how do you do your projections. Then I go to the chef. Hizi nyama ebu mnafanya aje, mna marinate nini?
Okay.
So I learned everything.
Oh.
So when it came time to decide, nilikuwa all set. So the only challenge was now getting started, which is very scary. Getting started and creating my own recipe. Because siwezi iba recipe ya kampuni nyingine.
Kwani watajua aje?
Where?
Sisi wenyewe tunakula tutajua aje?
Imagine you know if you're a lover, let's say, of pizza, and you come to Queen's Pizza, you will notice the difference. Sikujichocha. You will notice the difference because everything we make here, nili create kwa nyumba.
Okay.
And then when I go to a client na deliver na mguu Buru, naambia, let's say for example Grace, aki vile nimekuletea pizza, please make sure you give me your feedback, whether good or bad. And naambia chumvi ilikuwa mingi. Then I will twitch and change. So eventually now I came up with a recipe. That's why I say Queen's Pizza brand ya mtaa, because watu walichangia to what Queen's Pizza is today.
Okay, that's such an inspiring story. So I keep telling you, you start from where you are and always have the zeal to want to learn something more and to learn something, you know, to grow. She started as a cashier, now she's a whole CEO. So you've told us that ulianzia kwa nyumba. Was the capital, because I know many young people, many young entrepreneurs could have an idea of wanting to start something, but mtu amejiwekea kwa akili kwanza ameshafanya hesabu na hujui utatoa wapi. So how did you go about it?
Even before I answer that question, in a restaurant, sikujenga na mamita.
Ulijenga
kapata kakitu narusha hapo. Kapata kakitu narusha pale. You can't get 10 M at once. Utatoa wapi na iko?
Ama wewe ndio wale watu wa nilianza kampuni yangu with just a slice of meat.
Ama fedha.
A grain of wheat.
No. To be honest, I had savings of 200,000.
Okay.
But the brand I was working for, let's say European Foods and Pizza Inn.
Yes.
Is only my millions.
Yes.
You know, like if it's the dough wanakoroga na machines like we do here right now. Me, I was using my hands. Hata si ati naweza kuwa na nails. My nails were short like a man's nails. Nakoroga unga na mkono. Usijipende, by the way. If you want to get somewhere, usijipende. Jitume.
Ndio wanasemanga blood, sweat and tears.
Exactly. Sleepless nights. Nakwambia I'm always sleepy because I don't sleep. Yeah. So I started with what I had at that time. So at that time I had some friends, former colleagues, alikuwa anaitwa Pato na Kevo. I'm like, Pato na Kevo, sasa kuna vile nataka kwanza nini ya pizza nini kwa nyumba. I need cheese, blah blah blah. So since I had become a manager, nilikuwa na namba za nani? Suppliers. But sasa kuku singe afford kwenda kuchukua at the brand walikuwa wananunua. Nilijipeleka City Market tao. Nikabai nusu kilo yangu ya steak ya chicken. I cut everything, we tried everything. But when Kevo came through, they were very good friends. Kuja kwangu nilikuwa naishi Buru kwa 1 bedroom kangu. We tried like 10 pizzas. Tuna bake, najaribu kutengeneza pizza sauce as in but you know what?
Trial and error.
Yes. So eventually the same day I remember I called my mom. At that time she was still alive. Nikamwambia nimejaribu and I think it's going to work. And then she's like, no, the first thing unafaa come up with a name. And then uende Sheria House. Ulifanya nini ulipie jina? You know, because nowadays you just go on Facebook, mtu amejibrand but haja register. So someone can take that name from you, you know. So so eventually I'm like, let me call it Queen, because my mom's name was Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I'm
Queen
nah,
Elizabeth.
I'm like Queens. Then I'm like, no, it's Queens. At that time, Queen's Pizza Deliveries.
Okay.
So that I can be able to deliver from home.
From home.
Then we did that. Mom sent me 800 bob.
She paid for
She
it.
paid for it.
Talk
I
about
had the best
supportive
mother
parents.
ever. Where?
Wow, wherever she
It's
is.
just very sad she's not here to see this.
But she, you know, she's proud of
happy.
you.
I know she is.
Yes.
So yeah, I registered at Sharia House. At that time, ilikuwa 2 business names, kama Saini Limited. And then nikaenda at a place in Tao. We came up with a logo. I had a menu, kalikuwa natoshana hivi, like 5 pizzas. Nikaanza kutembea Buru nikipeana flyers. Unapeana watu wanatoa, we feel bad they've thrown it out.
Yeah.
But now you spent money ka 50 bob at that time kwa hiyo nini moja.
Unapea mtu hapo unaiona kwa floor.
So it was, but I kept going.
Yes.
Then eventually saa clientele ikaanza ku grow. People know if I call Pesh hata saa 6 usiku ataamka ndapata pizza.
Yes.
So mimi sinataka kulipa rent.
Yeah.
My friend nikipigiwa simu mimi niko macho naamka. I bake my pizza, natembea kama mguu kangu hata kama ni wapi napeleka usiku. Like it was within Buru at that time.
Okay.
And God kept me safe. So yeah, even ndo nilianza.
Hivyo ndio alianza na kudeliver na mguu na right now hadi yako na bikes branded Queens.
It's good.
Yeah, ni good.
Yeah.
So you've said you started from your house. I know there's somebody maybe who wants to start a pizza business and they feel like they want to start in their house. What are the most basic essentials that you really need for this to work out? Because najua kuna mtu maybe anafikiria sina oven, ama sina fridge, ama sina nini. What are the
I'll tell you what
basic
me
ones?
I started with.
Okay.
Because as I said, unga nilikuwa natumia mkono kukoroga. You'll need a blender if you're making your own pizza sauce, which I created mine from home. So a blender number 1, because lazima pizza ikuwe na sauce. You need an oven, my dear. Oven now lazima buy.
Hawezi tengenezea kwa jiko.
No.
Siku hizi naona TikTok kuna all sorts of recipes how to make pizza on a jiko.
You know how you see things online.
Yeah.
Zingine haziko hivyo kwa ground.
Okay.
You know, usichochwe sana. It's good to also do your research. So when you are at Pizza Inn, tulikuwa tunatumia conveyor belt ovens. Those ovens cost millions.
Yes.
But singe afford.
Yeah.
So I just went and got oven tu ya nyumba.
Yeah.
Nikaenda nikabuy super. Then I realized haivishi vizuri.
Okay.
So I called an electrician.
Yes.
Akakuja akafanya ukarabati.
Yes.
Ikikuwa inaivisha pizza.
Oh, okay.
So it's an oven, a blender,
Yeah.
a pizza cutter, and have a name, like a branding. Unajua no one will buy from a kiosk, to be honest.
True.
So you buy your boxes, kama uwezi brand, get your plain boxes, then bandika sticker. Whatever the name is, sell that name.
Okay.
Unajua mtoto ana jina kwanza kabla kule kiliko ndani.
Yes.
So first thing is your appearance,
Yes.
the aroma, then the taste.
Okay. Now, tumetoka kwa you are delivering na mguu. Let's talk about the expansion bit.
Yeah.
How did the expansion journey start? Like, ulitoka aje from doing it from your house to because I know you didn't start in this big space. No. I know you started somewhere. Yeah. Tell us about that.
So eventually Queen's Pizza grew from my house. So I realized getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
The numbers I'm getting, because now the good thing is when you interact with clients one-on-one, they tell their friends, I have my neighbor who does this. Okay. So nikaanza ku grow. Let me say, I'm used to saying we, but at that time it was I. So nikaanza ku grow.
It is we, because you're the manager, you're the content creator, you're the baker. So it is we.
Can I tell you, still do some of those things to date?
But that's how, that's, the beauty of being a CEO.
I don't swing on my chair kwa ofisi kila siku. Utanipata napanguza meza, I do everything by hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so as the numbers grew, and the demand, there was this show ilikuwa inaitwa KCB Lions then, way before COVID. So mimi nilikuwa naiwatch, nilikuwa napenda Shark Tank. So when KCB came, I watched season 1, season 2. So me, I'm there cheering, listening to business ideas, people are pitching.
Yes.
So eventually nika apply for season 3. And they actually called me a day before. Ikiwa kesho nikaitwa leo. Someone ame drop out, we have a space.
Okay.
Like kama unaweza kuja. So nikaenda KCB Lions then. Very scared, but I went. And I went looking for capital and someone to assist me like kibiashara wise, because I was just learning on my own. And I got a deal with KCB Lions then. Nikapata Cristiano, the person I was aiming for.
That's such a bit.
Yeah.
Gen Z, nyinyi mnajua KCB Lion ni nini kweli?
Hebu mwanze kuangalia.
Mwache kuscroll on TikTok all day.
Yeah,
Like look for things which are gonna make you grow.
Yeah.
Like for her, you know, sometimes people assume, kama I used to have a problem where I used to tell myself, mi siwezi kopa, siwezi fanya hivi, but that's like limiting yourself. You need someone else to, you know, help you.
You do.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Destiny Helpers?
Yes.
They do exist.
Yes. And
because if you ask me, I'll tell you, Chris
Yes.
was my Destiny Helper.
Okay.
Because ingekuwa sio Cristiano na hiyo show nilienda.
Yeah.
Ningekuwa bado kwa nyumba. Ningekuwa bado nimeandikwa ama kwa nyumba, I don't know.
But you see, this is because wewe mwenyewe uliamua ujitume. Si ati ulikuwa umekaa unangojea tu.
But I almost dropped out of that show going. Actually, they called me and I went back to bed because I was still baking from home. Sikuwa na order.
Yeah.
Then there's this quote, it came to mind.
Yeah.
It says when you ask God for a cake,
yes,
and He gives you an oven,
yes,
eggs, flour,
sugar, salt,
and all that.
Yes.
You walk out of the kitchen.
Yes.
Mungu ashakupea keki, so you bake the cake by yourself.
Yes.
I just called this producer. Welcome.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So when you got the loan that they gave you, was it capital?
It wasn't a loan per se.
Yeah.
It's called equity.
Equity.
So he took part of the company at that time, 40%, for 3.5 million. So 3.5 was now to establish a location.
Okay.
Which I thought ilikuwa pesa mingi.
Unapata si pesa mingi.
Well, my friend, we had to cut a lot.
Yeah.
Ndio tuweze kufungua.
Okay.
We had to buy something second hand. Ndio niweze kufungua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to advise you. Go knocking on doors. Opportunities are out there. You won't get the opportunity ukiwa tu umekaa nyumbani. I don't know, right now are there shows like those which
Lions Den.
It's still
since COVID iliacha.
There
aren't. But I know there are people out there who invest. But for someone to invest in you, they have to the drive. Lazima on your drive.
Na vision.
They have to see the vision.
Yes.
And it has to make business sense because to some of them, to be honest, it's just it's for money.
Yeah.
But for someone like me at that time, ilikuwa tu passion.
Passion.
Attached kabisa ni kama mtoto wangu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So, they've given you the money. So where do you start from?
The good thing is I'm a visionary, so I had done my research kitambo hata before nende kwa hiyo show. I had gone to all the places za kuuza machines walikuwa wananijua. Like, have you ever gone to shop for a dress you know you can't afford?
Yes.
I don't know, but me I've been there. So I had
We've all been there.
I even had their contact. Na sijanunua kitu. So when the time came, when Chris is like, okay, give me a breakdown of what we need, I had it. Kwa mkono, I had it. So it was now a location.
Okay.
Yeah? So when I wanted a location, you don't go for a location blindly. Most biasharas shut down. They may have the best concept, but location. Accessibility is everything.
Okay.
Visibility is everything. So at that time, this building in the Tuskys.
Yes.
It was a big supermarket. A big at that time.
Yes.
So nilikuwa aka restaurant down here. Ilikuwa inauza samosas. And I will come there and sit down and I will tell my friend, you know, if I get this space, one day, niweze weka place ya pizza. At that time I was at Pizza Inn. But nilikuwa nishaona potential and how well the place was doing. So I knew what I wanted. So I came, imagine, na nikaulizia space niko na tenant ndani. I came and asked someone.
After this, can you teach me how to have guts like you?
Lazima. Imagine the worst that can happen utambua tu no. No one's going to beat you up.
But at least you've tried.
Yes. Okay. The worst you can be told is no.
No.
No is good. No leads you to maybe a yes.
Yes.
So you can get 1,000 no's, but you just need one yes.
Na wale wa kukwambia come next time.
Weenda. Next time kuja. But unajua kuna difference pia ya kukua persistent.
Yes.
And also to be nagging.
Okay.
You also need to, ukiambiwa kuja hii time, kuja hiyo time.
Okay.
Usipange mtu na time yako.
Okay.
But now you want me to create, maybe to assist, but you me to work with your schedule. You have to work with my schedule.
Gen Z.
You get.
Gen Z wako na hiyo tabia.
Ati ako busy lakini sasa leo alikuwa amedoze.
Yeah, anataka awork na time yake.
Exactly. That's not the challenge, honestly, saizi I'm getting.
Yeah.
You call someone for an interview, anakwambia your time sitakuwa available. See me, I go to the next person.
You go to the next
be honest,
person.
because the company needs to run.
To run.
You get.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went and asked about the space. I asked the manager, he snubbed me because katoto kanasema nini. This place is 100k rent at that time hapo chini.
Yeah.
At that time walikuwa wanarentisha 100.
Yeah.
So anaona huyu mtoto ananiambia nini.
Ananiambia.
Yeah, so I go to the guy, I remember alikuwa jamaa mwenye wa luggage. Mzee umazawaze wa humble.
Yeah.
I'm like sasa kwa hii space watu pata ajabu. Naona management zinabadilishwa but sijui anaikuwa vacant. Mtu anafanya aje? Akaniambia head office iko hapa na hapa. Akanipea details. Lakini hawa ni kama pia wanatoka. Akaniambia kiniambia nitaenda wapi? Nitanunua soda. Akanipea directions. Mimi huyo Monday kafika nikaenda. I went there and asked. Nika meet the property manager. Wakaniambia write a letter. Nikaandika na apply for. Kwanza nikaambia Chris, mimi sijui kuandika hizi vitu. Please teach me how do I apply for space. Akani guide, we applied for the space. So eventually wakaanza sasa kuninyima space like you want a big brand.
Yeah.
You're just a startup.
So hiyo kitu wewe inaua mtu moral.
Yeah. I get that still to date, imagine.
You're a small brand.
Yeah.
Now, speaking about that, umetuambia the history and it's such a beautiful story. Yeah. Now let's get to the daily hustle part. You've mentioned Pizza Inn and I know there's many other pizza places. How do you stay ahead of the game? How do you stay competitive? Because those, just like venye watu wanakuambia, those are big brands. And we know you're already established. To make up, I can already smell the aroma and it's not compared to like those other places. How do you stay competitive when it comes to this industry?
You have to be hands-on. You can't be a boss who just out there bowling, unajua do inaingia. You have to be a team player. As I'm a boss, they know wantambua Pesh, Aki, nitole hiyo pizza. Pesh, Aki nifanyie hii. We work as a team. Like if you come here utanipata nimevaa helmet, nimefunga apron, nimechafuka, natafuta pesa.
Yeah.
You get?
Yes.
If it's somewhere that I need to be dressed in a suit, nitavaa.
Utavaa.
Unaelewa?
Yes.
Yeah, so being ahead of the game is being hands-on, listening to your clients, listening to your employees, and I tell them every customer complaint, let me handle it. We are not that big. Says make time nipigie customer nimwambie what happened, nini, can I do this ABCD? I retain that customer. So don't look at the new clients sana.
Yeah.
Angalia return customers.
Okay.
If Dinda comes to Queen's Pizza today, akuja next week.
Yeah.
Now you are my client.
Yes.
Then you're going to bring your friends. Just I don't want new clients.
Yes.
I love new clients.
Absolutely.
Yes, but I also want you to return. Because I want to end there. What am I doing?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, speaking of that, and other than, you know, the problem you've said, Gen Zs and working with your time and whatnot, what are some of the other challenges that this type of business faces?
I will share with what Penina has faced, has gone through.
Okay.
2 years in the business, kulikuja na COVID. No one planned for it.
Yes.
So at that time, we were only doing dine-ins.
Okay.
Eating and takeaways.
Okay.
So I had to buy a motorbike. So you have to know how to adapt.
Actually, before we even continue, so you're saying during COVID, when did Queen's Pizza start?
Queen's Pizza nilifungua 2019, August 1st.
So COVID just hit when you're still trying to grow.
After nisha refurbish duka tena juu tumeanza ku grow. So all the new furniture, everything, kwa nyumba kwa store. That thing almost killed me, the stress.
Yeah. But look at you now.
Yes. So we buy our first motorbike. Because of deliveries. Can I tell you, God was so good.
Yeah.
I never fired anyone. We were able to pay our salaries.
Wow.
Apart from that, my dad died in 2020.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Yeah.
After that, Tuskys was collapsing. Na nilikuwa tenant wa Tuskys. So please if you can, don't sublet. Because mwenye nyumba mimi yako ananijua. The landlord, my landlord right now, they know me.
Yeah.
Knew Tuskys because it was a big brand. Mimi nilikuwa tenant wa nani? Wa
Tuskys.
So wakivacate, mimi sikujulishwa. So all my investment ilibomolewa. And I had loans.
Okay.
You get? So that.
Yes.
And then another thing is keeping your clients, them knowing even if kuna umebomolewa, I'm running, the business is still running. Quality is still the same. Hata kama niko katikati ya mjengo, bado product iko poa. Another thing, theft, lazima utaibiwa na wafanyikazi. theft. You have to know where the loopholes are and
Yeah.
how to cover your loopholes. Because
Okay.
the reality is most businesses shut down from theft. So you know how to manage that, you know how to manage cash flow, management ya biashara lazima ikuwe top notch. Yeah, and product ikuwe top.
Okay, okay. So let's move away from the sad bit. Let's get into the beauty of what we have at the moment. What is the most rewarding
Oh, wow.
moment you've had since you started Queen's Pizza?
Ziko mingi.
Tuambie zote.
Wa. Ya kwanza, it's getting a deal with Tracy B. Lansden. That was a dream come true.
Okay.
Yeah? And then in the midst of all the sad things you've said, the Mujengos, and me,
Yes.
my dad dying, I got a food truck. Iko hapo the Point Mall. It's still running.
We'll show you the food truck.
Yeah. So actually, it's a big brand who reached out. They knew about me. Imagine this social media by their works.
It does.
Yeah, they reached out. They're like, we're selling a food truck. We've looked you up and we want to sell to you.
Okay.
I didn't have money, but God came through.
God came through.
Nikachukua food truck, so that's a win.
Yeah.
That food truck, when now this building iliisha, ndio imejenga hii.
Wow. Wow.
So wins ziko mingi, as much as kuna sad bits,
Yeah.
wins ni mingi.
And they outweigh all those other
oh
things.
yes, oh yes, they do, because I am not just looking at my family, I'm also feeding other families through employees. So
Okay.
I'm happy about that.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank
You're
you.
doing amazing. Let me ask, what's your favorite pizza?
Aki niko na favorite. Can I tell you I like creating recipes, but I can tell you the first pizza I created from my house
Yes.
is sweet barbecue chicken.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's the most moving pizza.
Okay. And the other question, what are your future goals for Queen's
Queen's
Pizza?
Pizza.
Because actually I've seen it's Queen's Pizza and
Queen's
Creameries.
Creamery was actually demolished during that time. Ilikuwa nifungwe ikabomolewa.
Okay.
So the creamery opened on June 1st last year. Creamery is only 7 months old.
Congratulations.
Asante. So-
Hapa tu ni wins.
I'm a founder of 2 brands.
Wow.
Yeah, so Queen's Creamery is a coffee house.
Okay.
We are doing amazingly well. We have amazing sandwiches. So the future plans are to have other outlets, obviously.
Okay.
And as I said, you don't start. I didn't start here.
Yeah.
So hata ukiona vile unaona hii shop inakubamba, hata
Yes.
mimi pressure. Sometimes I'm not sure it's mine.
You're like, I can't
still have,
believe it.
It's not 100%.
Yeah.
Like if you come in 3 months, itakuwa imechange kidogo. So
It's
I'm doing it in
beautiful
stages.
because when we came here, even if you can ask your employees, the first thing we said is we were like, wow, this place
Asante.
looks so good. So you're
Asante.
doing really
Thank
amazing.
you so much. So it's not the way I would like for it to be. Na beautify pole pole. So
Okay.
pesa huwezi pata yote mara moja. Hata me, by the way, I'm not financially stable. I'm still
Really?
Yeah, I'm not, because I have so much.
Na nilikuwa nikuombe loan.
So what I'm still doing, I'm still putting money back in the business.
Okay.
Ndio nione mko sawa. Then by the grace of God, the next several months,
Yes.
I think of branch 3 nafungua wapi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this cannot be the daily hustle without speaking about money. Venye tu umesema, you start with what you have and then you reinvest in the business. How would you advise someone who maybe ako hapo kwa nyumba ndio anaanzia business yake?
Okay.
Utamuadvise aje, especially kipesa, because that I feel like is usually the most challenging part when it comes
It
to
is.
starting any business. Yeah.
What I'm going to say might maybe disappoint someone,
Waambie ukweli.
but to be honest,
Yeah.
it's not always about the money. You know why?
Why?
Someone can have all the money in the world, or a rich parent, lakini hana business idea.
Okay.
See, that idea you have,
Yes.
it is gold. That idea is gold.
It's gold.
Once you have that idea, pesa itakam, but utashindwa pesa itakam kutoka wapi. So you start where you are with what you have. If I didn't start the 200K that I had at that time, niende Lions Den, Chris anione, hangenijua aje.
Hangekujua.
Hangenijua, you know. So mimi nilianza na 200,000 at that time. Right now, Queen's Pizza is worth millions. You know.
Yes.
So na kuna biashara zingine unaweza anza hata na 100K. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to choma kuku una buy tu jiko, usianze kuangalia zile za kurotate. Anza tu na ya kuchoma kwanza, ubae kuku mbili uchome, unaelewa?
Yes.
Yes, start where you are with what you have. Sawa sawa.
Yes.
And if someone needs advice ya biashara, mimi niko hapa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Pesh is here.
I'm here.
Are you like on social media, or how can
I
people
am.
reach out?
Instagram, it's Queen's Pizza _ Kenya. Facebook, Queen's Pizza Kenya.
Yes.
IG, Queen's Pizza _ KE.
Yeah.
Mimi, I'm Penyana Ntongondo across.
Yeah.
And then on IG, I am Miss _ Ntongondo.
Oh, okay.
But you can enter Queen's Pizza, you'll see me tagged everywhere, so you can easily.
Yeah, and she's very
Inbox.
generous with information. She said if you want
I'll advise.
she will give you
Ukifika
all.
mali nafika kuna nataka payment nitakwambia, but I'm very easy to give you the first few steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for Daily Hustle, sisi tulikuwa tu tunataka tukupe the business idea. So subscribe to Urban TV because she'll be hosted on, you know, Christine's show, the Queens of Change. Utakuja Queens of Change?
Nitakuja.
Jo hapo sasa
We empower
ndio
someone.
you empower the girl child, you empower. Unajua sasa story mnaanzia kwa I was born here. This is how my journey started. This is where I am, you know, and all those things.
Na pia mtu follow Queen's Pizza.
Follow Queen's Pizza.
Deliveries pia tunafanya.
Buruburu.
Tuko Buruburu, the Point Mall. That's where the food truck is.
Yes.
Our main branch is here. This
Yes.
is Queen's Pizza and Queen's Creamery. Namba za simu keneza peana.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just give you one number, 0700442538. Hiyo ndio moja ya main.
So, are you deliveries? Are you like on Glovo or?
We have our own delivery services
Oh,
as
okay.
Queen's Pizza.
Okay.
They also on Glovo, on Bolt and Uber Eats.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So usiseme haukuambiwa.
Yes.
Queen's Pizza. Pizza zao zimeweza. And if you want, just leta mpoa wako. This place is
Wachana
beautiful.
pizza mwitu, kula pizza origi.
Kuja kula pizza origi from an original. Umesema ni recipe yako.
Yangu, yes.
So tuambie
Homemade
one secret ingredient.
No.
Just
God.
one.
Mungu.
Ni God.
God.
So she will be hosted on Queens of Change. That's why I keep insisting subscribe. Hapo atatupea story yake yote. But for Daily Hustle, she's already told you, start with whatever it is you have. Start na kwenye uko. Go knocking on doors. Kitu ndogo isikufanyikie and then you decide ume give up. No. So right about now, we want to see what goes on in the kitchen. And she's said she's generous with information. So you can feel free to reach out to her on Instagram and on all social media platforms. Ask her whatever question you have. Na pia promote
Yes.
Queen's Pizza. That's the main thing.
Queen's Pizza and Queen's Creamery.
Queen's Pizza and Queen's Creamery. Hapa Buruburu. Hata kama uko wapi tao, unapanda simi
58.
50 bob.
Mbio.
Na inakushukisha tu hapo. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it.
Anytime.
Tunataka kukuona kwa Queens of Change.
Mtakam.
Usikwe, unajua hapa tunakuanga na limited time. Mtu anataka tu kusikia I have this idea. What can I do about this idea? But sasa kwa Queens of Change, because you know you're a queen, you've already shown us the change that you can make. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. We appreciate you for your time, and we appreciate the things you're doing, you know, out here. In fact, let's just say we congratulate you. If you're not congratulated enough,
thank you.
I congratulate
I
you.
appreciate.
So thank you very much.